Description: the major causes of climate change and the increase in greenhouse gases worldwide are all associated with human activities. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, thus increasing temperatures. Carbon dioxide is a major greenhouse gas produced by human activity. Evidence proves that human activities aid in discharging greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which in turn causes the greenhouse effect. Climate change creates new challenges for humans and wildlife. We're inadvertently affecting our environment in the quest to devise handy merchandise and various ways to run machines and tools. Reflections. Main contributions. We all have to do our part to avert the climate change crisis. By educating my neighbors and community about the importance of recycling, limiting the use of single-use plastics, and buying organic produce, I'm playing my part in minimizing climate change's effects on the environment. The environment is our responsibility, and we should start taking care of it to leave the world a better place for future generations. Process-making interventions. If we consider the major culprits in producing greenhouse gases, the fossil fuel industry comes to mind. Combustion engines use fossil fuels and produce carbon dioxide as a byproduct. With the millions of cars on the roads, and machines in manufacturing plants all producing carbon monoxide, it's only a matter of time before we are in a major crisis if we don't correct the carbon cycle. Climate change is already happening and is slated to get to even worse levels. Some aspects that can be targeted for change are to mitigate the impact of the fossil fuel industry, which is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere. The utilization of updated technologies to drive manufacturing and the reduction of dependence on fossil fuel energy are some change agents that can be applied in this sector. For example, the usage of solar panels or wind turbines in place of diesel or coal-powered generators reduces the production of greenhouse gases and the cost savings in the long run, which are substantial. Other than switching to clean energy sources in place of fossil fuels, some different mitigation techniques that can be applied include geoengineering, where carbon dioxide from a power station is chemically captured and piped and storing it underground via a process called carbon capture and storage. Alternatively, as cities are home to almost half the planet's population and consumers of energy, greening urban centers and retrofitting old buildings to make them more energy efficient are strategies that can be applied in urban centers. All the mitigation efforts above cannot work without the support of governments and international organizations formulating policies. In their research, Hornsey and Fielding considered data showing that climate change is caused by human action, but they are not yet willing to make the necessary investments and sacrifices in response to this threat. Climate change is an intercontinental problem, and it requires international accords and policies enacted by governments in order to keep it in check. Significant moment. Walking around the neighborhood and seeing how clean it has become because of the little steps that the neighbors took, in reducing single-use plastic usage, recycling wastewater, and just being mindful of the environment, etc., I realized then just how much a small effort can have a big impact. The waters in the neighborhood streams became cleaner and clearer as there was no trash water or paper thrown into them. Even small fish started to return to the waters. This small feat has led us to wonder, if we all did a small part in this, no matter how small, we could really make a big change. Change starts with me and you when it comes to protecting the environment and climate. Learning outcomes. The evaluation of global warming and understanding of climate change is to refuse exposure to pollution and the release of greenhouse gases. Lindsey states that carbon dioxide levels are higher than at any point in at least the past 800,000 years. It is extremely difficult to completely solve the issue and change the exposure to the environment. Pursuant to the evaluations that I have read and seen, the major aim is to improve and reduce the greenhouse gas effect rather than stop it, as the damage is reversible but not avoidable. Human action will always lead to environmental degradation and the release of greenhouse gases. Conclusion. In conclusion, Due to the effect of growing amounts of greenhouse gases and an increase in temperature, it is imperative that action is definitely taken before things get worse. From the ice caps melting in the Arctic, to severe drought in the United States, to wildfires, floods, and loss of habitats, it is clear to see the effects of climate change and global warming. We are destroying the only home we know through our activities. Everything you need for studies, essay samples, writing tools, and tips, you can find at studycorgi.com.